Hey, welcome to Drunkcember Day 1, where we're talking beers and more beers. My name's Kenneth, and I'm happy y'all here. Cue the intro. Alright, so the plan here is to, over the course of the next 31 days, kind of just chit-chat about beers a little bit for a couple of reasons. First, I gotta highlight some good beers. Some bad beers, I mean, there's not really such thing as a bad beer, but some bad beers, y'all know. I gotta empty the fridge finally. Wife keeps telling me doesn't like having half of a fridge full of beer. Well, does she know? We're just gonna fill it up back next year. And see, it's really to turn my alcoholism into a hobby so people stop judging me, or judge me a little less. Who knows? Guess we're gonna find out together. I plan to show off 3 different beers each day for the next 31 days, get us from A to B in December so we can roll in the new year starting strong. Uh, I'm by no means a beer expert. I just know what I like and what I don't like, so consider this a beer show for the casual enthusiast. Alright, let's hop right into our first beer. Get it? Hop right in. Hops, beer. Okay, thanks. All right, guys. So for our first episode, I wanted to highlight local beers coming here from 702, straight out of Vegas. We're gonna start right here with a little Joseph James Hot Box Imperial IPA. Now, Joseph James is a brewery that was out in Henderson. They opened in 2008. One of the older breweries we had in town. Probably one of the first breweries I ever went to before I really knew anything about craft beer. But unfortunately, due to everything kind of going on in the world, thanks 2020. They've closed indefinitely as of April of this year, which also kind of tells you how old a couple of these beers are probably going to be, and I won't tell you when that was canned. All right, so a little bit about Hotbox from Joseph James, straight from their website. Uh, this is an 8.2% Imperial IPA. Hotbox is our tribute to hops. Bury your nose in a glass and inhale. Pungent aromas immediately enrich your senses. Hotbox has both pine and citrus notes that arise from the bucketfuls of hops we add to the kettle and again into the fermentation tanks. We attempt to pack as much hop flavor and aroma into your glass as possible. Drink in the rich, resinous flavors that elevate the hearty aromatics. The hotbox sips crisp and finishes dry with a lingering bitterness that begs you to take another sip. That was a lot of words to say this is a really hoppy beer. As we know, IPAs, they got a lot of flavor. We've come a long way from IPAs from way back in the day when drinking an IPA just tasted like putting a mouthful of pennies and swishing them around. And Joseph James has always done it well. I haven't had one of these in a while. Not on the website, but on the can. There is a little bit of grapefruit and orange on here as well. So let's go ahead and hop right in. Get it? Hops? No? Think of that joke yet? Me neither. Cool. This one's for you guys. All right. Yeah, so let's give this a pour and see how we're doing. Note for future video, a little wider angle. There we go. It's got a good color to it. It's pretty dark. Yeah. So, give it a shot. Cheers. All right. So they are not kidding when they say hoppy. And this thing, a bag of bricks to the face. Tastes fucking delicious though. Mind my language. Really solid color. Y'all really can't see it too well. I can kind of see it there. Rocking our record store day glass. Make sure you not only drink local, but you shop local. A lot of businesses really need it right now. This is definitely a really solid beer. Might be because it's a little bit older, so it's a little flat on my end. 100% my own fault for that one. But they put a lot of care into this one. You can definitely taste all that flavor in there. Again, I don't know beer lingo that well. I can tell you that it's hoppy. I can tell you it's got a really rich smell to it. That bitterness kind of hangs out with you a little bit, like it says. It definitely has that dry finish. Definitely a solid one. If and when Joseph James makes their way back, make sure this is one of the first ones on your list if you like yourself a nice heavy beer. A little bit of movie magic there. We're just about done with our beer. Mama didn't raise no bitch. Yeah, so I mean that was really solid. I'd say probably a good 7 out of 10. Might even been a 7.5, 8 out of 10 if it wasn't as old as I let it get. Um, definitely, definitely had that like traditional IPA taste to it, without being too over the top. They did a really good job balancing that out, making this to where you could put a couple of these back. At 8% though, I wouldn't say you'd put more than two, maybe three of these back before you're really starting to feel it. But I'm glad that's how we decided to start our night off. Okay, cool. Let's move on to our next beer. Our second one here, we are moving over, staying local. Like I said, we're staying local. We're talking CraftHaus Brewery. There's a little bit of backwards CraftHaus for you guys. The CraftHaus, again, another local brewery. They've got a location downtown Las Vegas, another one out in Henderson. They opened up back in 2014, so a little newer. That's really when it seems like Vegas figured out what the beer scene was, or was trying to get into it. You would think Vegas being one of the like busiest cities, city of entertainment, that we'd have a little bit more of a foothold in really a lot of little niche things and little markets and whatever. But we don't, which is kind of strange. But we're recently-ish, I'd say the last 4 or 5 years, we picked up a lot of traction. A lot of great Vegas breweries, a lot of great Nevada breweries are really getting out there, producing higher and higher quality beers. The beer scene here in Vegas just keeps growing, so it's been fantastic just to see everybody really come together, become a little bit more of a community than what we saw before. When I first got into craft beers, or really beer in general, um, let's just pretend it was 2011 when I turned 21. Uh, you didn't have a whole lot. You had a lot of dive bars. You had a lot of like the regular Vegas stuff. The craftiest beer you could really find anywhere, like regularly, would have been Sierra Nevada. Not made in Nevada, by the way. Uh, you get lucky if you'd find some big dog brews. They're up on the north side of Las Vegas. You'd get lucky if you found one or two of their beers on tap at some of your smaller bars. But now we're seeing a lot more of that being introduced to where our mainstream bars, the corner bar, pretty much all throughout Vegas has some sort of local beer, some sort of craft beer. So it's not just your big Budweiser and Corona and all that other stuff. But yeah, so CraftHaus Brewery, 2014. This is the Resinate IPA. Resin spelled, again, that's backwards. You guys will have a little infographic. Yeah, Resinate. Hopefully it resonates with us. We're going to be full of puns, especially the more we go. Yeah, a little bit from CraftHaus about their masterpiece here. Resinate IPA is an American IPA. This is 6.5% ABV with 58 IBUs. I'll be honest, I still am not 100% sure what an IBU is, and I think it's really subjective. I've had beers with really high IBUs that were super smooth and delicious, and I've had other ones with super high that are super bitter and just make you want to rip your eyes out, and then the reverse on the bottom. So maybe I'll Google it, figure out what it actually means, or maybe you guys can tell me down in the comments if that's a thing, little like button, right? Here-ish, I think. Not looking at YouTube, not really sure. But yeah. So back to Resonate. Yeah, a little bit about Resonate from CraftHaus. We generously dry hopped our IPA with classic combinations of Cascade, Centennial, and Chinook hops. Pine and grapefruit characters resonate from within. Same thing it says on the back of the can. Okay, whatever. Let's get this bad boy open and see how it goes. Future videos, I will make sure that we have a better setup. There we go. Got a nice little head to it. A little darker than the Joseph James. Looking pretty solid. It doesn't have much of a smell to it, probably because it's still a little cold. All right, let's jump in and see how this one tastes. Cheers. That is smooth. That is a damn good beer right there. Like I said, 6.5%. you're not tasting all that alcohol. You're not really tasting it in your mouth. Got a real crisp flavor to it. Nothing lingering too much as far as bitterness goes. You can definitely taste some of that, like the fruit notes. That's not real pretentious notes, but yeah, you can definitely taste that fruity aftertaste. It lingers a little bit. It's not too full bodied, so there's definitely a real crisp one. First impression, I definitely think this is going to be a crusher. You could probably throw back these all day long in the summer, as long as you stay in the shade. But yeah, see you guys in a second. A little bit of missing audio there. My bad, y'all. All right, Resonate really resonates with me. I know we just made that joke as far as you're concerned, but it's been 10 minutes for me. That was a good one. That's smooth. It had a real crisp taste to it. Nothing lingers too much in the mouth. The aftertaste or that follow up or whatever the technical term for it is. Real fruity. Like that's not a flavor that you're like upset that you'd walk away with when you got done drinking these. Definitely worth checking out. Again, that's Resinate from CraftHaus Brewery out here in Vegas. All right. Let's move on to our last beer of the night. Dirty fucking dangles, boys. It's Snipe, Celly, boys. This comes straight from Bad Beat Brewing. Yeah, so Bad Beat Brewing. Rock throwaway from CraftHaus Brewing. Really solid. It's got this little poker vibe to it. Really gives you that Vegas flair. I've done trivia there a couple of times. Everyone's super nice. They've got some of the best variety of beers that I've seen in a local brewery. Right up there with Big Dog. Able Baker probably has a really good variety. But if you ever make your way out to Vegas, Bad Beat, definitely worth checking out. So a little bit about this guy. This is a Hazy IPA. We're looking at 6.9% ABV. This was a 16-ounce pour, so a little bit more bang for your buck compared to the first two that we rocked through tonight. Just overall, I'm excited for this one. Again, strictly based on the name. If you haven't gone out and watched yourself some Letterkenny, y'all are at home sitting watching this dumb video. You should be watching that instead. But I appreciate you guys being here. A little bit about Snipe, Celly, boys from Bad Beat. This is a hazy IPA brewed with an array of juicy hops, giving off passion fruit, peaches, mango, and pineapple flavors and aromas, based on our love of hockey and Letterkenny. So, let's give this one a try. Let's see what's going on. Whew, first one to not explode on me tonight. And I'll do you guys service. Stop doing you guys the disservice of doing this off camera. Look at that head. Oh man, that's a beautiful pour. Man, if my mom didn't hate that I was an alcoholic, she'd be so proud of me for this one. It's a good color too. Look at that. Nice. That's what you want to see in a hazy. Like I don't know much about beers. Hazies, white ales, blondes, probably my favorite styles of beers. But this is exactly what someone brings you this. You don't know what you're getting. This is exactly what it is. So yeah, let's hop in. Expecting a lot of fruity notes from this one, just based on the description. I'm kind of expecting it to taste like maple syrup poutine in Canada. So only one way to find out. Cheers, boys. That is a hazy IPA. That's got that Northeast New England like bite to it. Real rich flavor. You can't go wrong with this one. I can already tell you right now. This is gonna be a fun one to drink. If they come back around and do this, because this was a limited release about September-ish 2020. If they do circle back around to this, you happen to be from Vegas or you happen to be visiting Vegas when they do re-release this. If they do re-release this, fingers crossed. Definitely worth checking out. So, hey, cheers, guys. Let's see how this one goes. All right, we're just about done with this guy. You finished your beer yet? Then finish your beer yet? Pitter patter, let's get at her. Woo! All right, so that was a good beer. That was solid. I'd say of the 3 tonight, Resinate probably still wins. Third time's a charm. Resinate really resonates with me. Don't worry, we're done with that joke for the evening. But I really enjoyed it. Wheel Snipe Celly boys, a lot of flavor. Very full. I guess hazies typically are, but very full flavored. Hit the spot. I could see myself putting back, 1 or 2 of those. It wouldn't be like the main beer I'd go out and get, but I'd have one here and there throughout. Yeah, overall a great beer. Again, backwards can. Yeah, overall a great beer. I would say this is definitely one worth checking out if and when they decide to bring it back. New season Letterkenny comes out in like 2-3 weeks or something like that. I'll definitely be crushing one of those while we watch the premiere. Yeah, overall, I think this was a good first attempt at this kind of video. Let me know really any feedback. I'm pretty open to constructive criticism. I've already got a few things I want to change up as far as the setup and the stuff like this. As we progress through this, I plan on bringing people in. So if you're in Vegas, you want to have a couple of beers and just bullshit without being too snobby about beers, hit me up. Throw something down in the comments down below. There's a like and a subscribe button somewhere over in this general region, I believe. It might be over here. Or over here. Yeah. But yeah, hit the like button. Feel free to check me out on social media. It's at thepotatobob18. Again, that's down below in the description. Make sure you're out there drinking local, shopping local. It's hard times for everybody right now. That's why I really wanted to highlight on our local breweries here in Vegas on this lovely Tuesday Brews Day. You can hashtag that for your social medias. And really just get a feel for what's going on in the local community. Not all of the beers that we're doing from here moving forward are going to be local. I've got a weird collection, most of it craftier beers. There are a couple of your bigger brands that popped up in there, just stuff that's found its way into my fridge and needs to find a new home in my liver. So please feel free to come check me out. Again, if you can hit that like, subscribe button down at the bottom, that really helps the channel out. If you want to check me out on other social media, I will be starting back up my Twitch streaming probably tomorrow. Again, that's just PotatoBob18. Me and my friends do all kinds of random, more fun pop culture kind of videos. You can find us over at Cold Soup on all social media. So that's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. One day we'll have a MySpace if we're ever that cool. So, hey, go out there and get it. And see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.